ever get knocked down, I jump back up, turn up the heat, I'll sweat it up. Let it rain, let it pour. You know I can make it. Ever get knocked down, I jump back up, turn up the heat, I'll sweat it up. Let it rain, I can make it through. I know I can if I want to, yeah.
Hey guys, it is Michael with Hooves of Hope, and I've got my friend Ginger here, and we are so excited to have you because over the next 4 weeks, we're going to be talking about an awesome virtue called courage. And what is courage? Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyways. And I brought Ginger in because I thought she's a good horse to learn from because she struggles with courage from time to time. You see, she has a lot of fear and a lot of anxiety, and so, in fact, we've been struggling to get this video done because she's been so nervous. But you know what? Courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyways. And over the next 4 weeks, we are going to be learning from different people in the Bible. We're going to learn from the horses and from our wranglers about how we can show courage at home, school, and in the community. So I'm excited. Let's go take a look.
Have you ever seen the eagle soaring through the sky? Have you ever wondered how he ever got that high? I can tell you it's as simple as a step at a time. Just one step up the edge and fly.
So courage is being scared to death and saddling up anyway. So I'm wondering, has there ever been a time in your life when you've been scared and you had to do something anyway? Like maybe about that math test. What about that time that you were scared to go to a new school or even come here to Hooves of Hope? There's a lot of times that we have a lot of fear. And you know what? Ginger has some fear right now, and she's having to show some courage. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm having to show some courage too, because she's making me a little nervous.
Some days are harder than others. The wind and the rain wanna push me down. I never know what's coming around, but I'll stand my ground.
Now today's story is found in the Bible, in the book of Genesis. Now is Genesis in the Old Testament or the New Testament of the Bible? You're right. It's in the Old Testament. In fact, it's the very first book of the Bible. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we can learn about courage in the book of Genesis. All right, guys, let's go ahead and take a look at our story. Now remember, we said our story was found in the book of Genesis. And Genesis is the very first book of the Bible. And in this story, there was a man named Noah. What was his name? Noah, that's right. And God had given Noah some crazy instructions. Well, speaking of crazy instructions, I've got some of the blueprints here, and have you guys noticed all of the building that's been taking place, all the remodeling and stuff that's been taking place in the barn? Well, what if I told you that you just had to build the rest of this barn without any instructions, without really a blueprint or much of anything except for what I was just going to tell you? I want you to finish this wall here, put a window over there, and make that a classroom. Seems a little crazy, right? Well, in our story today, in the book of Genesis, God kind of gave Noah a situation like that, in which he had to build something that was 45 feet tall, over 75 feet wide, and 450 feet long. Can you imagine? That's bigger than a football field. So this is a crazy story and is an awesome example for us about someone showing courage. Let's take a look. Okay, so I'm sure you've heard this story before. I'm sure you've heard all about Noah and the ark, but I think it's important for us to take a look because every time I take a look, I see something new. And today, I want you to be looking for the places in which Noah had to show courage. So, you see, God one day looked down at the earth that he had created, and he was really, really sad because the people that he had created were so mean and so evil. And so he decided, I've got to get rid of all of them, and I'm going to start fresh. And he found Noah, a man of courage, a man of faith, a man of honesty and integrity, a man who loved God. And he said, you know what, I'm going to take Noah and his family, and I'm going to keep them, and we're going to start fresh with them. Now, here's where the story becomes interesting, because God tells Noah to build that crazy ark with all the different plans, the massive structure, and Noah is supposed to do this. But it wasn't raining. In fact, the Bible tells us that it took 120 years to build the ark. 120 years. So Noah had spent 120 years building this ark. I'm sure people laughing and poking fun and saying all kinds of crazy things about him. And God told him to bring 7 pair of every clean animal and 2 pair of every unclean animal onto the ark. And so Noah followed God's instructions, showed courage. I'm sure he was scared to death. Could you imagine putting all of those animals into one location? Crazy, right? Okay, so anyway, they get onto the ark and they shut the door and they sit and they wait. And you know what? Did you realize it took 7 days before it began to rain? I can't imagine. What do you think people were saying to them, hollering outside, I thought it was going to rain, making fun of them. And yet Noah showed courage and he trusted God no matter what. And then the rains came and it flooded the earth. And it wiped them all clean. And Noah, his family, and all the animals were safe on the ark. In fact, did you know that the ark could have held approximately 45,000 animals? That is a lot of animals. So Noah's in there, and I think that had to take a lot of courage just to be in there with all of those animals. But Noah continued to show courage time and time again. So what is it that we can learn from Noah? What is it that we can take from him? You see, I can't imagine being inside that boat while it's being tossed around and it stinks like other animals and who knows what, not being able to shower for a long time. But God was faithful and he took care of Noah and his family and those animals, and they were safe and dry inside. Noah showed courage even when other people made fun of him, and he trusted God no matter what. So I'm curious for you, what is an area where you maybe need to show a little bit of courage? You're scared to death, but you need to saddle up anyway. What about those places where you need to show courage even when others make fun of you? Maybe that's going to church. Maybe that's talking about Jesus. Maybe that's praying at lunchtime. Maybe it's talking about God when you're at home. But whatever it is, God is faithful and we can trust him no matter what. And this week, anytime you're out and about and you start to see a little bit of rain, I want you to think about Noah. Okay, because the cool part of this story is Noah didn't just get left inside the ark. At one point it stopped raining and the earth and the water dried up and the ark came to a resting place. And they opened the door and they were able to see across the sky this beautiful rainbow. And that rainbow was a promise from God that he was never going to do this again and that he was faithful. We could trust him no matter what. So even though Noah was scared to death, he saddled up anyway. He showed courage, and I want you to be doing the same thing. So let's get going. Let's figure out how we can start showing courage, and then we can then point people to Jesus. I'll see you next week, guys.
And if I get knocked down, I jump back up, turn up the heat, I'll sweat it up, let it rain, let it pour. You know I can make it. If I get knocked down, I jump back up, turn up the heat, I'll sweat it up, let it rain, I can make it through. I know I can if I want to, yeah.
Hey guys, it's Michael Remley here, and Ginger says hello. And we are out here, and we are so excited. Ginger just can't contain herself. And courage is today, we're kicking off 4 weeks of exciting times here at Hooves of Hope. Hey guys, it is